Hey everyone, how's it going? And before we start this video, I wanted to go ahead and give a little bit of context on why I'm making this. So I have a Xeon Crane V2. I purchased it at the time with my Sony A7, and I liked the one handle, walking around and whatnot. It was cool, very sleek. But holding that camera with one hand, you didn't get the best results. It was very shaky majority of times. And it came down to the point, I was like, okay, well, let me go ahead and look around for some like dual grips to see if I can get some better stabilization, because a lot of the more expensive gimbals have that. So I went and looked on Amazon and I saw 58.99, 88, and I don't even know what that is. I guess it's supposed to reduce the shaking as you bounce up and down with the gimbal. Haven't really seen anyone use it in real life, personally myself, so I wouldn't know. And then I see some of them, they're like $90, $50, $75, and stock on May 29th. $139, that's just too ridiculous to me, that right there. There's no need for me to be getting something that big. $119, $55, and I think it looks really cheap. I've had a problem with cheap crap off of Amazon, so I don't really trust those type of stuff. So as I look at this, I'm kind of like, you know what? None of this is really winning. How should I say, my trust in wanting to mount my gimbal with my camera that's like $2,000 to it. So I decided to go ahead and build my own, and we're gonna go ahead and switch over to that right now.
That looks kind of fresh.
Oh, I got me too.
On the lens?
No, lens is fresh.
So, don't know why I decided to record on top of a moving laundry machine, but the audio was absolutely horrendous. So I'm going to go ahead and do a voiceover here. So what's going on is I'm looking at the pieces that are needed. The reason why I built this gimbal was because those gimbals were way too expensive. So the parts that I used was mostly galvanized piping, known as conduits, used for like lighting or for like some sort of structures or benches, etc. It can be used for multi-purposes, but I've seen it used in a lot of lighting in restaurants. So my car is currently out of service. I talk about it. There's another video coming out where I talk about how the car is broken. So we're going to continue on here, and I'm just watching this video and I'm voicing over. So that's 1/2-inch piping, and that's my Xeon Crane V2. And I'm going to go ahead and be attaching that little piece right there, that piece to it. And the reason why I'm doing that for is to go ahead and have better stability with the camera. So that is 1/2-inch piping. It's galvanized, and you need one piece of that. I believe that was like a foot or a couple inches, just enough so you have clearance for your camera. You can get something smaller than that. Mine was kind of bigger than usual, and that's like 3-inch, I believe, or 4. And then those are elbows. They're also 1/2 inches as well, 90-degree elbows for the handles. You can use bicycle grips and attach them on as well to get a better grip, but for the meantime I'm going to be using those till I find the ones I had for my last rig that I made. Those are like U brackets. You can find those in the hardware section, especially like the hardware and bolts. You might have to ask. That's what's going to clamp onto the crane and then to the handles of the dual grip that we're making, and then also tape around the Xeon Crane as well. Don't scratch up the base of it. And then also those are the brackets that go in the back that lock onto the base of your stabilizer that's going to hold it. And then I also happen to spray paint the bolts black as well, but after the video, I mean, the paint just came right off. So that's all, and then I'm going to show you guys how it looks like once it's assembled. But yeah, no, it came out pretty good, and in total, I only paid roughly like $25 to $30 for everything, which was ridiculously cheaper compared to what Amazon had to offer. All right, so the washing machine's being ignorant right now. So I went ahead and already tightened it on, and if you noticed, the two brackets that I bent earlier are gonna go on the base of the gimbal, and on the other side, if you notice here, the two rings make contact with the metal. And at that point, this thing's pretty sturdy. The next thing I'm gonna go and do now, I'm gonna get down here below. Next thing I'm gonna do now, I'm gonna cut these bolts down because this is a lot of access. Or you can keep them and add other things on, like a screen or something like that. But for the meantime, I'm just probably gonna leave these on. And I'm gonna go ahead and start assembling this thing together so you can get an idea of what I was trying to go for. Okay, so this is now the end result of the camera stabilizer. I am quite impressed on how it works really well, and people doubted me. So this costed a lot more cheaper than it would have been if I would have gone through Amazon. Amazon didn't win the day this time. I looked at gimbals that were on there, and they looked ridiculously cheap, and this one was only like $20-$30 after everything. So if you guys are out there are being courageous and want to make your own, this is like really sturdy and it's like solid metal. So there's no way you can go ahead and mess this up. And it feels a lot more nicer than it would have been if you were to use your buy a cheap one off of eBay, right? So that was the whole intentions of this thing, and it looks like it works pretty good. So I'm pretty stoked about it. I'll make a test video soon on it, because right now it's dark, and I'll go and upload this tonight. So that's all, you guys. This is Greg from Legacy Media. Thank you for checking out this video on this sick little attachment for you guys out there that can't really afford those expensive gimbals. This is something very cheap to get by with, and then it looks like it works really well. So many balance this thing a little bit more. So I'm new to gimbals, so let's see how this goes for me. I'm gonna see how I can figure out how to get controls on the weight bars as well, but it looks like that's not gonna be the case because this is a very cheap gimbal from ZM Crane V2. And it looks like it works pretty good, so I dig it. So that's all, you guys. This is Greg from Legacy Media, and I'm going to sign out from the bathroom because it's really hot. So that's all, and I'll see you on the next one.
That's pretty much it. You guys can subscribe, like, comment, or go f yourself.